am here today to tell you about what is the mindful parenting method. And you may have heard me say here that punishment is ineffective, timeouts are ineffective, yelling doesn't work, because our kids need to learn from us in every moment about, we're modeling in every moment. So how do we get out the door in time? How do we put our kids to bed? All those different things. How do we create kids who are not, as our brain worries, going to turn into psychopaths and whatnot, right? So, how do we parent effectively if we're not using those old school methods of punishment, which is ineffective, and yelling, which just scares kids and is ineffective too and makes them more resistant? So, that's what I'm telling you today about the mindful parenting method. So I can't do slides on Facebook Live. So here we go. This is, let me make it even, the mindful parenting method in a nutshell. So it stands for CLEAR. Step 1, calm, listen, express, attend, and resolve. The CLEAR method. So it's the 5-step mindful parenting method. And what this method has to do with is that we have what most parenting coaches fail to take into account is that, we have that losing it stress response, right? Where our brain is wired for survival, it's wired to be alert for threats, and that when we are in our stress response and the survival part of our brain, our lizard brain, if you will, I know it's old school terminology, the amygdala literally cuts off access to the higher order thinking part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex. So we don't want that because our empathy, our verbal ability, all that is in the prefrontal cortex. So we need to be able to, these fast reactions, they bypass the upper part of the brain. So all of that good stuff to say that someone tells you how to respond is as good as useless because you don't have access. So we have to take into account and we can't parent well if we don't have tools to be able to calm down our stress response and understand it. So also, we have to also take into account that we have unconscious triggers, right? So while we think of ourselves as mostly conscious human beings making rational choices, yet our early family life in culture has left these unconscious triggers in you. And brain studies have found that it takes like less than a second for a statement or even a single word to trigger an emotional reaction. And so we have to be able to, that's why the calm part of the calm step is so, so important, because we need to be able to, if we want to access our whole brain, we need to be able to calm down our stress response. Luckily, there's thousands of years of experience with this and lots of recent years of research about this. So, the calm. Step 1, calm. Deep, 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 deep in the CLEAR method. This is, so step 1 is really about, helping to calm those unconscious triggers. We need to have habits that steady the heart, the mind, and our biology, our nervous system. If we can't calm our nervous system and take care of our stress response, our ability to think is greatly impaired. Our ability to remember any skills or language or good responses that you've learned is greatly impaired. You're unable to be objective and think about, consider a problem realistically. And really, it's pretty amazing. Like, stress can drain more than 70% of the blood from the frontal lobes, the cognitive centers of the brain, right? So as blood carries oxygen, this also means that your brain isn't getting a full supply of oxygen. So you literally can't think straight when you're having that stress response. And since small kids regulate their emotions through us, they're unable to calm down when we're tense, irritable, and stressed, right? Instead of grounded. And kids also, they do what you do, not what you say, right? So if we want our kids to be able to take care of the difficult feelings, it actually won't sink in unless you just show them how, unless you model it for them. And then finally, another reason why this step one of the C.L.E.A.R method, calm, is so important is that when we don't take care of our difficult feelings, when we don't take care of our triggers, when we don't take care, lighten our own baggage and heal that stuff, we pass it on to the next generation, and the research has shown that. So this calm step is so, 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 so important. But let's go on. So the next step is to listen. And then when we have that calm step, we are modeling that healthy emotional regulation, which is so good. Okay, so listen. Listen effectively, creating connection. I hope you can see that. I can't really tell if you can. That is step 2 in the C.L.E.A.R method. So this is so important because every time your child talks to you, they are wanting to be seen and heard, right? Children just crave acknowledgement. They really, really want it. So when we practice the type of listening that we teach in the mindful parenting method, it helps your child feel connected to you. It helps them to solve their own problems and to understand themselves more. It's really, really powerful. I mean, most people don't do this step because of like cell phones, distraction. Our minds are really future focused and fixed on fixing or solving things. Like when our kids come and tell us their problem, we kind of want to make that problem go away. So we offer them all these solutions. So often people don't know, they don't do that listen step really effectively. So this is step 2 in the mindful parenting method, is listening reflectively, creating connection. And we teach a very specific listening skills in mindful parenting. All right, step 3, express yourself. Do, 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 do. Okay, so expressing yourself honestly and effectively. Yeah, we want to be effective, right? So we need our kids to be able to trust us, right? And also to not want to resist all the things that we say. So when a lot of times parents think like, oh, I want to be calm all the time, and so we kind of suppress things in ourselves, but then our kids learn not to trust us, but because they can sense that the parent's not really being authentic. So we need to learn how to be authentic and effective, right? And then when we, and to stop using those orders and threats to get our needs met, which is not effective. Kids learn to resent us and resist us. So with the express step, kids learn to trust us. They learn that it's okay to feel bad sometimes. They get an honest reflection of the effects of their behavior. And what's really cool is they learn to cooperate because they are motivated intrinsically to do so, not because they're afraid of you, which that you run out of that power at some point anyway. And honestly, most of us don't do this because we live in kind of a blaming and shaming culture. We are trained to blame others for our feelings rather than take responsibility for our own feelings, and we're taught not to be vulnerable. So this is something that we work on in mindful parenting, is how to express yourself in a way that is honest and effective and gets your kids to listen to you. Yeah. C.L.E.A. Attend. Let me see if I need to look. Attend. Being fully present. This is such a big thing. Oh my goodness. Dan Siegel told me twice on the Mindful Mama podcast that parental presence is the #1 best thing we can do for our child. And that is from research. That's research proven. Research proven findings show that this is like the heart of thriving. And when we're present, we are able to be curious, we're able to be open, accepting, and loving. It's like this state of being that allows us to live with clarity and compassion and connection. But I feel like this is summed up so beautifully in the quote by my teacher, the Zen master, incredible peace activist and author Thich Nhat Hanh. He says, when you love someone, the best thing you can offer them is your presence. How can you love if you are not there? How can you love if you are not there? Oh my gosh, we have to attend, we have to be present. And when we learn, we teach in mindful parenting specific tools and practices to be present. And when you can do that, it's amazing. You can see problems clearly. You don't jump to conclusions so easily, and you're not so judgmental of your child. You're able to be more calm and grounded for your child. You stop that like rumination spiral of like cray cray that we do, of negative thoughts that we do. And we don't miss out on all the little those times. And most people don't do this because they haven't trained their minds. We're distracted by cell phones, and it can be personal discomfort with the idea of practicing to attend and be present. And then finally, we have our last step in the mindful parenting C.L.E.A.R method, which is, let me just resolve. Yeah, this is very low tech, you guys. Okay, resolve. So we're gonna solve problems together based on needs. This is so huge. Oh my goodness. So most people think we have to punish to have cooperation and to have kids that aren't like running wild like crazy people. But it's actually not true. And there's a bunch of research that shows that punishment actually makes kids less likely to cooperate with parents, less likely. And the thing is, conflicts within families are completely inevitable. Conflicts happen, they're going to happen. So, can we, instead of using these harsh disciplinary methods that make kids, they can really damage relationships well into adulthood, when we have problems, can we resolve these problems based on needs? What am I needing? And what are you needing? The benefits of this is that kids have less resentment, and you get more cooperation from your child. You don't have to be the enforcer. What? Yes, you don't have to be the enforcer. It's amazing. Everyone gets their needs met, and you have stronger family relationships. And plus, two more things. Kids learn cooperative problem solving together rather than the lesson that the strongest one wins, right? We don't want that lesson. And this is the most amazing part. Parenting actually gets easier and easier over time. But most people don't do this because they're afraid if they don't punish, we'll have spoiled kids. So I'll do my recap, my recap. This is the mindful parenting method. Calm, the C.L.E.A.R method, which you can't see because my hand. Calm, listen, express, attend, and resolve. Ooh. Okay, if you would like some more information about the mindful parenting method, I've got an awesome free resource for you. I've got the 6-step mindful parenting roadmap, and that is at mindfulmamamentor.com/stopyelling. You can get it there. I would love to know, does this resonate with you? What are you thinking about the mindful parenting method? Is this close to where you are? Let me know, and I can't wait to talk to you again soon. Namaste.